You know what time it is.
Back to Hinamizawa.
Back to Hinamizawa. Oh, we just recorded the talk back about a week ago.
Yeah.
And we're already here to go into episode 3.
It took me that fucking long to get my shit together.
You had other stuff going on, and we still got to it, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
And now, here we are. Now, this one was called, what was the name of it?
This one is Tatarigoroshi Hen.
Tatarigoroshi Hen.
The Curse Killing Chapter.
The Curse Killing Chapter. Okay. I'm also... That makes it sound like it's a Sadako chapter.
Yeah?
Given what we talked about it very briefly in our talk back.
The Cursed Child?
The Cursed Child, yeah. So maybe Sadako will finally get to kill someone as a treat.
Yeah, maybe she kills the curse and everything gets all better.
Oh my god, just kill the curse, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so smart. I hope you're all excited to get back in here.
I certainly am.
Ooh, that's menacing.
There's nothing menacing about this happy fun time game.
Tatarigoroshi, the shortest scenario. Really? Curse-killing chapter. Man, curse, or coincidence? How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You will probably not even be able to make conjectures. That awful, huh? Okay. All right. Well, I'm not unfamiliar with this. Having played Umineko, I have at least a basis for how to deal with stuff I can't otherwise explain.
Yeah.
So I have a process here. That said, I'm still feeling pretty solid about my overall theory.
Okay.
As we talked about in the talkback for chapter the recap, whatever discussion episode. I still feel like my general theory from chapter 1 holds with the events of chapter 2. It's just that now we're elucidating some of the other players. And I imagine that this is also going to highlight some of the other players who have not as yet been shown in the light.
Maybe so.
I imagine that's part of what... I imagine that's part of the larger point here is that there's... of Higurashi, that there's going to be a lot of different factions.
Okay, here's something fun before we get into it, before we start. You brought up a good point that Ryukishio 7 likes to introduce new characters as you go along. So, if one of the characters that we've heard of so far but not really met happened to be featured in this chapter and to make their debut as a character, which one do you think it might be?
Well, here's the thing. I set out a couple of ones last time of people who had been mentioned but not on the periphery but not yet made their debut, right? Folks like the mayor's daughter, folks like Sadako's uncle, who we know is still alive. A couple of people who kind of implied to be on the periphery of these stories who we've never seen on camera. If this is indeed the Sadako chapter, I imagine we have to see what's up with her uncle.
Maybe so.
Then again, and some of the reason of why she's living with Rika and not with her still living family.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Maybe if this Sadako chapter will also get to see, or at least posthumously, Satoshi.
Yeah, could be.
Then again, Satoshi did just kind of fuck off for a while. And of course, Satoshi's been here the whole time. Other than that, Threon. In terms of other characters who we've the mayor has already played a little bit of a role, even though they haven't gotten a character sprite. I feel like they've been present enough. I don't know what Oreo would add by us seeing her, unless she's got a drastically different angle. I'm not sure what else her presence would really add to things. Maybe some more of the cops, perhaps. We've kind of reduced our sight down to just Oishi, but clearly he's like the big mover in terms of, in the police department, but he's not the only one there that's, with making things happen.
Kuma-chan arc?
Maybe. Mion's dad is still out there. Although he's doing other stuff, we know he's alive, and Shion claimed to be spending time with him on Watanagashi. Who else is out there that that's been mentioned but hasn't really been seen? Rena's family members, Rena's parents, her father and mother. We know we've heard of them over the phone now, but we haven't gone and met them. Is Rika's grandmother still alive? No. Was she? I don't recall at this point. I think it was...
I've forgotten.
Yeah, but there's a couple of different ways. But my money is on Sadako's uncle.
Okay.
If this is the Sadako chapter, we're definitely seeing some of Sadako's uncle.
Place your bets now.
Wow, it only took us 5 minutes to get into actually starting the game. The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had naught to do with what happened outside the well. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. And then there's the Frederica Berncastel in the same thing, depicting him as a real good guy. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that was different. This is a work of fiction, yada yada. 1983. That opening thing makes you really think it's about someone who's kind of isolated from... That does make it sound like Sadako, who I've described in the past as largely catching astray by the rest of the plot. The rest of the plot seems to happen to her. So, if it is indeed Sadako who's kind of hanging out in the well here, maybe this is about her. Oh no. You know what that means? More of this voice, motherfuckers.
Yep.
It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. So this must be apartment windows. This sounds like... And given the setting, we're not in the city setting, we're still in Hinamizawa rural. This sounds like Rika and Sadako's place.
Okay.
There were crooked houses and apartment buildings lining the narrow, twisting road. Oh, never mind. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to wilt, as well as bicycles, motorcycles on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat, even as flattery, pulled up to a 2-story apartment complex and stopped there. Oh, I just realized it's sort of gently cutting off the edge here on this. Oh, that's frustrating, but we'll fix it for the episode too, don't worry. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out.
We have
audio on. Of course we do.
Oh, fuck.
There are just so many problems.
This is really scuffed. I'm sorry.
Could you imagine voice volume? Let's just turn that off.
Yeah, let's just... Yeah.
Well, hello there, darling. It's quite hot today again, isn't it? Housewife. Is this the housewife murder then? No, it's in 1983, so this is present day.
Did we previously play it with the text in this mode?
No, we played it with it in the other mode. That's probably what it is, isn't it? Well, hello there, darling. It's quite hot today again, ain't it?
Oh, you got that right. I feel like I'm going to boil out here.
Oh, right, landlord. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said.
Sorry. The fluorescent lights, right? I completely forgot.
No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning.
Wait, what's this? It reeks. Did the sewers get backed up again?
Well, do something about it, landlord. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long.
You'd still look plenty lovely plugging your nose, my dear.
Do we know anyone who laughs like that? That doesn't quite match Uoishi's chuckle, does it? I don't think it does. Of course, the only thing worse than a cop is a cop who's also a landlord. There was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth got caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime.
Could you tell the municipal office about it? The drain will end up buried at this rate.
Well, yikes, it's completely blocked. It'll start back up if you poke it with a stick.
The man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. Must have planned to stick it into the drain and clear it out.
Oh, wait, landlord, stop that. If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it'll smell terrible.
It smells if it's clogged and smells if it's mixed. Which should I choose?
He shoved the drying pole into the filth in the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste.
Ah,
It's a dead cat. This is the health center's job.
cats and dogs smell awful when they die. A bamboo pole's not going to do much good.
Garbage bags, old clothes, they throw all kinds of stuff in there. And is that a duck I see? Well, of course it stinks. The nerve of some people.
The drainage channel was already unsanitary, what was a little more than garbage at this point. The stream of such imprudent people was never-ending, and now this channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. The two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight.
We've got maggots. Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in.
What? Landlord? What's that?
What? Just more garbage.
Well, landlord, that's...
Huh? Huh? Ah!
Oh, hello, good work today.
Oh, what a terrible stench. Hey, someone cover this thing with a tarp. From the second floor of the houses, it's in full view.
Identity of the deceased unknown. Sex, female. Age, estimated to be late 20s, early 30s. Time of death, about 2 or 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death.
Naked, too? Figuring out who she is will be rough.
Hold on. 1983 is the present day, right? Yeah, because housewife murder was in 1982. Okay, so that's not... So then... What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, this is during that time. So this... Huh. Oh,
Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing.
probably weighed her down so she'd sink. And the weights came off and she floated to the top, but why in a drainage sewer of all things? Better under an overpass or in the mountains, you know?
And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all.
They do it so she would be found? As a warning or something?
The slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out.
Ugh.
They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do these sort of traditional punishments? Ask Shige-san in Section 4 if he's had any trouble with Yakuza.
On it, sir.
Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her innards poking out look like that? Look sort of like the salad soba you can get in Kyoto? Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodles would pop out, see?
Ugh. Ugh, please give me a break.
Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose cut off.
Ears and nose cut off, intestines pulled out. What on earth? What on earth is that?
That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a bad state, too. There are long nails stuck in all of them on both hands.
Ugh.
Who do we know that drives nails into fingers?
Shion, what are you doing?
What kind of torture was this, anyway?
So presumably this is another body that just kind of happens.
Maybe.
It doesn't seem like that's Watanagashi yet. It doesn't seem like... Maybe that's a point of divergence, or maybe it's just something that hasn't been in focus yet.
Maybe the corpse didn't float up in the other chapters.
Maybe. The most relaxing time during the school day? Lunch, for sure. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always, and we all ate together. Oh my, Mion-san, if I may say, your lunch looks quite appetizing today.
There are so many different things. It's wonderful.
Sadako and Rika-chan looked at Mion's
Oh, wow,
lunch,
we got both of the voices
shouting
wrong.
gladly. Perfect. Let's have a look. Why do we not have sprites? Whoa.
Are there just not sprites yet?
Are there just not sprites yet? Maybe.
I just packed in some leftovers from last night. All the elders were having a drinking party at my house yesterday.
Elders were having a drinking party at her house. Interesting.
I managed to nab some of what they didn't eat.
Oh, so that's like they all look like snacks you could have with sake.
Huh. They're but leftovers. Mere scraps of food, but when arranged in a bento box so cleanly, they look impressive. It's like part of a full-course meal at a high-class restaurant.
People seem to decide if they like things mainly based on their first impression. Well, I thought maybe the taste of a bento would be proportional to how pretty it was when you opened it.
You may seem unrefined, Mion-san, but you are positively splendid at arranging food like this. We do know that she is good at arrangement and stuff.
Yeah?
That is part of what she was raised to learn how to do. I think this is probably Rena.
Her room is nice and tidy, too. Mi-chan is a lot more organized and polite than everyone thinks.
It's all the same what's in your stomach. I'd have thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she had this kind of taste. You can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. I see, she is our club president after all. Yours is nothing to scoff at either, Rena. Your crab kamaboko flower is very pretty.
You know, Rena, your lunch always has, like, an art to it. Like, it has rabbit-shaped apple slices and carrot flowers and stuff.
Rena's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like she always puts her heart into it or something. It wasn't just good, it made your insides all nice and warm.
Thanks. It's not quite as good as Mi-chan's, but I wanted to make it really cute. Cooking isn't about skill, it's about love. In that sense, I don't even come up to your feet.
Love, huh? Yeah, just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Rena put her heart and soul into making it. That's what her bento was like. The taste isn't all that counts for bento. How it looks also matters. I suppose we must learn from this as well.
So let's see Sadako and Rika-chan's up-and-coming bento. Whoa! Ta-da!
Yesterday, our neighbor shared some meat with us, so we ended up grilling it for our bento.
These ones too, they had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance, it was too impactful for a girl's bento, but when you thought about eating with all your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table. Well, at first it looks like the kind of crude bento a jock would eat, but there's so many different things in here, like boiled spinach and soy sauce and stewed hijiki.
Rika-chan, you're really good at this kind of unaffected cooking, huh? Yep, I think Rika-chan will make a great wife when she grows up. I have a tight hold on my future husband.
A husband for Rika-chan, huh? First that sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal.
Whatever do you mean by that?
Her future husband, Sadako. Sadako with her mouthful.
What? Sorry, did someone say something? I'm literally a child. I don't have any way to think about what you're talking about.
But really, everyone was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. I could only really cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people? Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once. Hey, there they are!
What's wrong? Wrong?
You'll make us choke if you shout like that so suddenly, you know.
There's rice coming out of your nose, Sadako.
Oh, thanks, honey.
No problem, dear.
I'd forgotten. All of this stuff about cooking for yourself, it applied to me, too!
Keiichi, your mom and dad need to go to Tokyo again for business.
Uh-huh, sure they do. Yeah? Sleepy.
Your dad's mentor fell ill right before an event he was taking part in. It's a very important event and they need someone to fill in.
Mentor, huh? Right before an event he was taking part in. Interest. I'm still not letting the Maebaras off the hook with this. I still think that whatever they're up to is very suspicious, but we're gonna pass it for now because I just don't have any other information to go with. Well, Dad does what he has to do for his job.
So your dad and I, you see, we need to go to Tokyo as fast as we can to help with the event. We might have to stay there for a few days, depending on what happens.
That sounds annoying, but all right.
While we're gone, we won't be here, so you'll need to make your own meals yourself. Are you okay with that, Keiichi?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Humans can do anything when they're desperate.
Is that so? That's a relief. You can at least cook rice, right? And you can make miso soup as well. Then you just buy some side dishes and you'll have a meal.
The meal, huh? Yeah, I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before, but I've only ever made instant miso soup with that you make in a pot of boiling water too, but I'll think of something.
If you can cook for yourself, then you don't need much money, do you? No eating out, it's too expensive. You're at the age where you should learn about cooking and personal finances now, after all.
Yep, makes sense. I'll get by. Oh, I won't? What was I thinking? I was half asleep and made such crazy, empty promises. Just like manga characters always do at times like these, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Scratch, 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 scratch.
Ah, Keiichi-kun, your parents sure have it rough. Anyway, you need to keep things in order while they're gone.
Anyway, food. My parents aren't here. I have to make it all myself, you know. This is a huge emergency.
Should you not simply give up and cook for yourself? Keiichi-san, did you not make a fabulous curry dish for the curry party previously?
Listen here. My mom taught me how to cook that curry when we camped, and it's the best I can do. I can't eat curry 3 meals a day. I could. For a little bit.
We just did eat it 2 meals a day this weekend.
Yeah, because we every once in a while we'll do this thing where we order from the local Indian restaurant that specializes in vegan entrees, and then we'll just get entirely too much food from them and just have leftovers for days.
Just a multi-day feast
of like curry. Oh god.
Curry and naan and papadums and every other thing.
Some samosas.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just fucking wonderful time. And Indian food is really good. Like it's among the foods that are really great when you reheat it.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what makes this good is that it really it's not just like tolerable when you reheat it. It's like yeah. It's kind of like it's like on the pizza tier of reheated food deliciousness.
Pizza, chili, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
As opposed to like trying to reheat a pastry or something.
Right,
and
where
it's
it's
just
like,
impossible.
It's good. I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to let it go to waste. But everyone here knows that we've made concessions. It's just junk food in the first place. There's no nutritional balance whatsoever, and it's just completely... Ugh.
Stupid.
Milan and Sadako put their hands over my mouth. A moment later, the door rattled open, and Chie-sensei, a known curry maniac, suddenly poked her head in. Did I just hear someone bad-mouthing curry?
No, we didn't say anything.
Everyone's faces went totally white as they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just a teacher's ordinary stare. Is that so? That must have been the wind. Chie-sensei gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. I may have been shouting, but for her to hear it from all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge, the teacher is terrifying.
Kate-chan, you can disparage other foods all you want, but you might want to stay away from curry. At least as long as you live in Hinamizawa.
Ugh, okay. I'm sorry. That's what I said anyway, but still, I can't have curry for every meal, can I? Cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you eat it for every meal, you'd get bored of it pretty quickly. That's actually a very astute observation, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also why it's one of those things where, like, you think as a college student, I can survive on cup noodles. And you can.
Yes, and you discover you can, in fact. You just don't want to.
There's a difference between survival and taking enjoyment out of life. Rice and miso soup and a good side dish? Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like. How do you put the food on top of all that if that's the table?
Why can't you just try to cook for yourself? Rice you make yourself is really good. This old man thinks it's more a pain than good. But experiencing it every once in a while might be nice.
Well, Mion probably actually knows how to cook really well. Just
Absolutely.
Doesn't want to,
but is good at it.
Yeah, right?
That's right. Life is all about experiences, right?
But when you cut your fingers or burn yourself, it's so sad. So very sad.
Rika, the way you say this stuff with, like, this calm energy is really unnerving. With everyone encouraging me like this...
That's the Xanax hitting.
I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried, too. Though approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I'll have to learn at some point since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning it now wouldn't be so bad. That's a really good attitude to have, Keiichi.
It is.
I'm pretty uneasy about it, but... You're right. If I don't understand how to cook a few things around here, then I won't be in good shape the next time our club does a cooking showdown.
You are correct. That clever trick of yours in the last curry contest won't work every time after all.
So it seems like the curry contest is another thing that just happens every time. But we're only focused, it only gets the spotlight once in a while. That's kind of the impression I'm getting with a lot of this stuff, is that some of the setup stuff is stuff that is implied to happen every route.
Yeah.
It's just, they're not showing us all of the small time build-up stuff every single time, because that would be 3 full chapters worth of nothing but them hanging around doing school stuff.
But if you want to break your brain, figure out when does it happen. Because his parents are already talking about going out of town for a couple days. And they're reflecting on having done this cookout, the cooking contest in the past. And then you reflect on that episode.
So
and
maybe it's more like...
Did they even leave in that one? And then
maybe it's more the case that these are all events that have the potentiality to happen, right? Whether or not they happen at the same exact time isn't really of that big importance.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really super important whether or not the curry contest happens on exactly the same date. Or I mean, like, maybe there's smaller details, like whether or not Shion is there in order to help out Mion. But...
that, or they all just remember other fragments.
That, or they all just remember other fragments. That's probably it. I probably shouldn't think any more about it. As if scorning me, Sadako ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in certain do-or-die curry showdown. And what are you so relaxed for? You relied entirely on Rika-chan back then, didn't you? I bet you don't even have enough soy sauce in your home. What'd you cook at the time exactly, huh? Put a bag of salt in Rena's curry, a bag of salt in Mion's rice, and you flipped over my pot. I relapsed into my grudge over the last curry showdown. For now I calm my unquellable anger by pinching Sadako's ears.
No! My tag was because that's what they were doing for club. May not look like it, but I can do a little bit of cooking.
Can you now? Even when you couldn't peel one carrot during the showdown and had to get Rika to do it? Don't be so daft.
Hey, people get better every day, you know. If you think I'll always be crummy at cooking, then you're quite mistaken. Right, Rika?
I have to watch, or else I get worried about the pot and the flame. Sometimes you forget to turn the gas off, too.
Everyone burst into laughter. That shouldn't be an issue with cooking. Even I would never do that.
I don't want to hear that from someone who eats nothing but cup ramen.
But Sadako can cook pretty well for herself, you know?
And how would you know that, Rena? It's almost like you've lived with Sadako already. No. I'm gonna keep. Listen, at this point, it's mostly just here for the memes,
And yet,
and yet,
What
hasn't
will you do when
been
it turns out
explicitly
true?
disproven. So, I mean, you know, Ren, it's fine. You don't need to force yourself to cover up for her like that.
no, I'm not trying to cover for her or anything. It's just that Rika-chan's cooking is by far the best of all of us, so hers doesn't stand out. Sadako has mastered the basics too, right?
At the very least, I could cook rice and miso soup.
Well, she can't quite tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, though.
Are you sure I'm not colorblind?
The extremely rare white-green colorblind.
We keep telling you, Sadako, white-green colorblind doesn't exist.
I know you keep saying that, but they look exactly the same to me. Mion, are they fucking with me? They're both the same anyway once you boil them.
Oh, wow, hot take. Sadako erupted into anger, making 2 fists and swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that.
The others don't matter. I cannot stand being laughed at by you, Keiichi-san. Mostly because I see you as a surrogate brother figure.
What was that about a surrogate brother figure? Yes, perhaps I do lag behind everyone else in terms of cooking skill, but at least I'm confident I'd never lose to you, Sadako. Not to you, at least.
What was that? You have the gall to say you were confident. That's what's daft here. I might not seem like a good cook, but I take turns with Rika, you know. I can cook just fine for myself, thank you.
I forgot she has to have the fucking. I see. Good for you being able to cook. I'll buy some candy for you as a present later. Didn't we deliver her a dog last time we played a game?
Yeah.
I wonder how many people watched that episode and also are watching this series.
Maybe one.
Let us know. Let us know in the comments if
comments.
you, because we're not going to explain it, but
Yeah.
you know, let us know if you know. I patted Sadako on the head while I made fun of her. Sadako seemed to know I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly and steam started to pour out of her like she was a kettle.
Nah, you don't believe me, do you? Anyway, I can cook far better than you can, Keiichi-san.
Well, I see. Then if you could tell me the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it.
The green one is broccoli. No, the yellow one is cauliflower is blue. Dubba dee dubba. Red, green.
Come on now, what color is broccoli? Blue, red, green? It's not a television. Come on, say it. Sadako can cook just fine without knowing what color broccoli is. White. Good for you.
Oh, stupid Keiichi. I like our playful teasing, but when it becomes real, it's not fun.
Oh, it was nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle, ruffle, ruffle.
If you're gonna act so smug, then you can surely show us something better than Sadako.
Of course, remarked Mion, giving me just a slightly mean smile. Of course I can, but don't call me Shirley. At least, not while we're in class. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking, but the situation carried me along and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration. Just you wait. Tonight I'll make the best darned meal you've ever seen. I'll even make a little too much and pack it for lunch tomorrow. You'll be so surprised you'll fall over.
That sounds like fun. I can't wait for lunchtime tomorrow.
Rika-chan petted me on the head preemptively.
There.
Like the preemptive pet. She knows where this is going to end up and just cutting to the chase. Her words of can't wait sounded so transparent.
I also love that she goes around petting the much taller Keiichi on the head.
I imagine she has to get up on like a chair and do it, but she'll still do it every time.
Rena is excited too. I promise I won't laugh no matter what you make. Alright, so maybe I'll go all out on my bento tomorrow too. Then, let's do this. Let's have a bento showdown tomorrow.
A bento showdown tomorrow down.
As a club activity, of course. And we'll throw in a punishment game too.
what an ingenious idea that is. How is that, Keiichi-san? I'll give you one chance to back down.
Sadako wiped her tears and snarled at me as if this was her chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad? I feel like maybe the conversation's getting pretty out of hand. Oh, if I apologize, now's my chance, huh? But what came out of my, Keiichi Maebara's mouth was a statement so reckless it frightened even me. Yeah, you're on. My bento tomorrow will knock you right out of your shoes.
Whoa!
Everyone raised their voices in surprise at my bold, confident reply. Oh, now I've done it. What have I done? I'm so irresponsible.
So, Mion-san, what sort of fantastic punishment game will we have to play if we lose?
Sadako grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game.
Let's see. Okay, how about this? Whoever loses tomorrow's bento showdown during lunch break tomorrow has to go up to Chie-sensei as she's eating in the teacher's lounge and say bad things about curry.
This is supposed to be a punishment game, not capital murder.
Mi-chan, that's...
How terrifying!
Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was. Chie-sensei is such a maniac about curry that she'd risk her life for it. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika-chan spoke.
Tomorrow's contest will be decided by skill.
Rena and Mion and Sadako, everyone nodded deeply in agreement.
Although Keiichi-san's problem might be his own dinner tonight rather than tomorrow's bento.
How disappointing you can't witness what an amazing dinner I'm going to make tonight. I'll let you have a glimpse of it in my bento tomorrow, so look forward to it.
That's quite a lot of grandstanding from you. Are you actually good at cooking? Like, I wouldn't put it past you to, like, hold that deep in your pocket and just obfuscate all this time. You do know what'll happen if you come to us with something terrible, right?
I just can't wait. Oh wait, that's probably Mion.
No.
Because it's someone else. Oh, just how much trouble you'll be with Chie-sensei tomorrow, Sadako. Oh, there it is.
Yes, I can't wait. Why has it already decided that the two of us are gonna lose? I can't wait either. To see you, Keiichi-san, groveling before her and begging for forgiveness. Saying it all with tears streaming down your face. Yes, I can just see it now.
Ooh, what was that? Yank.
Ah!
Stretch. Both of us on the verge of tears pull on each other's cheeks. Stretch.
Trying to muster all your desperation by placing yourself in a predicament. Keiichi-chan, that's so manly.
That isn't really manly or anything of the sort. It's just kind of dumb. It's called being reckless. You can't even cook well. Right? Stretch!
Rena believes in you. I'm looking forward to your wonderful bento. I'm looking forward very much to seeing Keiichi tomorrow as well.
Well, rude. Their expecting gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Sadako a little. How did it come to this? Yeah, you'd better look forward to it. How am I able to say such reckless things? And being so unreasonable, what the heck is gonna happen to my dinner? The bento showdown tomorrow? No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about curry to Chie-sensei's face, what'll happen to me? The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. Ah, yes, highlighting the contrast between what one might be feeling inside and what one is actually doing. That's not a relevant theme. That entire day, up until school was over, the whole time, my meal tonight and my bento tomorrow were the only things on my mind. And now that I thought about it made Mom seem amazing for planning 3 meals every day of the year. I complained before about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that was. Ugh. More importantly, what am I going to do about the punishment game tomorrow? Besides that, what am I going to eat tonight? Ugh.
Keiichi-kun, Keiichi-kun.
Huh? Oh, it's my girlfriend. Could you help me cook? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about stuff.
About what to make tonight, or about the bento showdown tomorrow?
Ugh. Why not both? She hit the mark and I couldn't find anything to say. My facial expression made obvious the fact that she hit the mark.
For tomorrow's showdown, I think that if you do your best to make a bento, you'll be fine. There's nothing superior to a bento you tried really hard to make all by yourself.
Tomorrow's showdown is one thing, but what about dinner tonight? Might suddenly get food poisoning. I couldn't make any more bluffs. Exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Rena laughed in a shrill way when she saw me do that.
Keiichi-kun, you don't have any confidence in your cooking at all, do you?
So I've been found out? Ugh.
If it looks like you can't do it, no matter how hard you try, you can always give Rena a call.
Really?
But only if you try really hard first, okay? You can't rely on others without first struggling yourself.
That's an interesting philosophy. I get the motivation behind, give it your own try first, so that way you know what you're doing.
Mutual aid, not codependence.
Right, exactly. Like, we'll help. It's like, yeah, and if you really can't do it, like you've given, then yeah, of course. Rena seemed naive, but sometimes she was instructive. She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. Rena always seemed like an adult at these moments. If I absolutely cannot do it, I will call you. The chances are extremely high.
Go for it, yay! You were grandstanding so much to Sadako-chan that you have to try your best.
Hey, about Sadako, how good is she actually at cooking?
She's at least better than you.
That was so direct. Hit me pretty hard. We're making fun of her a lot too. Maybe you should have to struggle just a little. Oh.
You were making fun of her a lot too. Maybe you should have to struggle just a little, huh?
Ugh. Rena, you're pretty mean.
Rena isn't all cute, all cute.
Ugh, now that I provoked Sadako that much, I couldn't just make some crummy bento. I can't believe how loose-lipped I am.
Okay, bye. Good luck. On the cooking. Show everyone that you can do it if you really try.
Interesting that she's taking a stop here at the place where the road branches to the Sonozaki compound. This isn't where she usually meets Keiichi on, because she usually meets Keiichi on the road, and then the two of them walk to pick up Mion here. But here she's saying goodbye to... I'm just looking at stuff. This probably doesn't mean anything.
Maybe it does.
Well, I mean, we all know she's still collaborating with Shion, so... Yeah. I wave my hand absently in response. Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Rena disappeared past the trees. Well, that was fast. Look at that! We're already a chapter in.
Wow.
I've got my ale here, ready to go. Oh. Interesting. So we cut back to the Maebara household, Maebara Manor. Becomes night. And then... Fine, I'm desperate. So what? May not know the ABCs of navigation. I have neither a sea chart nor a compass. But still, one idiot is taking on the ocean of the great cooking age alone. And his name is Keiichi Maebara. Let's go. Time to cook. What if there's a cooking minigame just thrown in randomly?
Oh, that would be great.
My enthusiasm is peerless. If energy and recklessness was all it took, I could take over the world. However, there are plenty of things in the world that can't be achieved with resolution alone, and cooking was probably the top contender. Therefore, even if it was hastily prepared knowledge, I wanted something to help me. I made up my mind and fished through the kitchen cabinets. I was on the hunt for a cookbook. My mom should have had a few of them. For a complete amateur like me, the first thing I needed was information. Logical. Just like he who could cross the oceans and needed a compass. For me, a cookbook was absolutely indispensable. Oh, hey, here's one. It's worn out, wrinkled, and its cover made it feel somehow reliable. Alright, as long as I've got this, it's easier to give it a shot than think about it, right? Anyone can concoct the tastes of gourmet chef as long as they have a cookbook. Cookbooks are great! And as such optimistic thoughts filled my chest, I flipped through the pages. However, Whoa. It played with technical terminology like toys. I just couldn't see how to actually make things. You knew it all along, Keiichi Maebara. If anyone could make delicious food just by reading a book, then there would be no such job as a gourmet chef in the first place. Yeah, because there's difference in cookbooks and depending on like what they're targeting. But there are cookbooks that are designed specifically to help you learn how to cook, like for the first time.
Yep.
If that's something you're trying to do, there are books that go at it with that angle. I encourage you, do it. First off, 3 teaspoons, but which spoon is that? It keeps saying to use however much you like. How much exactly are you supposed to use? Just give me numbers. Stop using such obscure expressions. Strain out the water in a colander, add salt and pepper to taste? What the heck is a colander? And strain it out like stretching? You can't stretch water droplets like meat. Besides, how much salt and pepper is that supposed to be anyway? Ugh. Aren't there any beginner-friendly guides in here? Won't do you any good to yell. Cool off, Keiichi Maebara. Think calmly, calmly, calmly. For now, I'll leave the side dish until after. The rice is more important. I have to cook the rice or I can't start. I know a little about how to cook rice, at least. I didn't cook it with my camping kit all the time for nothing. I'll wash the rice. There should be enough water. And which switch is it? Is this button? Oh, lamp turned on. Hey, nice. Yeah, fully automatic rice cookers are one of the 3 sacred treasures, after all. Now, pleased by the rice cooker set, I pulled myself together and decided to take on the miso soup next. Hope you use the right setting, then the right amount of water, Keiichi, in that rice cooker. Otherwise, you're gonna get some pretty nasty rice. The miso soup I made at day camp was all the instant kind, after all. It'd be fine if I just melted the miso into hot water, no doubt. I'll boil the water, put in the miso. Huh? How much should I put in? Let's see here. Is the proper amount according to the number of people and your tastes? Enough with the vague expressions. To be fair, I also hate that with stuff. It's like, okay, what do you mean? Give me a number. What was it? It was the James Hoffman video about tiramisu recipes. Like, just give me a number. Just give me a number. I promise I can handle the numbers. Fine, I'll put in the proper amount. I crushed the bag of miso in my fist and put half of its contents into the pot. Is this really okay? Maybe this was a little too hearty. Did you say miso soup is best when it tastes strong? When I think of it, my mom's miso soup is a little thin. Maybe I'll like it better with this much in it. I said it out loud as if trying to convince myself. Then convinced by my own words, I nodded to myself. Alright, the rice and miso soup were probably fine. Next, the side dish. What should I make? Something I should make that would add color to the meal. That's it. Why don't I stir fry some vegetables? You can eat vegetables raw too, and they won't die from just a little bit of fire. It was so cute that not realizing the level of my thoughts had fallen from what would look great in a meal to what would be easy to make. Yeah, I mean, but easy to make doesn't mean, bad.
Yeah.
Right? Even, a meal that is, quote, easy to make is leaps and bounds better than just grabbing something from a microwave, right?
Yeah.
It's like, there is a je ne sais quoi to making the food yourself. There were quite a few vegetables in the refrigerator. What kind of vegetables go in a stir fry? Bean sprouts? Yep. Cabbage? I think in some you can. I wouldn't, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
Chives? Absolutely. Onions? Yeah, sure. Can you put cucumbers and lettuce in? Cucumbers? Lettuce? No. I'm going to say no to the lettuce. Cucumbers, I guess?
I'm not sure I would stir fry a cucumber.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any conceivable scenario where, a stir fry with a cucumber in it, and I don't think I've ever had one. I don't know but it's got a pleasant kind of light flavor to it. I don't know that stir frying would help it, though. For now, I grabbed a nearby cutting board, cut them into chunks, and tossed them into a wok. It's gotten pretty exciting. Is the true worth of men's cooking? Hey, this is actually getting kind of fun. All of a sudden, there's a pile of vegetables in the wok. All right, next to the salad oil. Look, with the salad oil. It'd be much more exciting if I filled it to the brim, right? Oh, whoops, a bit leaked. You filled the wok with oil?
I hope not.
You filled the entire wok with oil?
Well, he said it'd be more exciting if he did,
but some leaked out. Keiichi, did you fill the entire wok with oil? Keiichi! No point in worrying about something so minor, right? Great Keiichi Maebara's cooking is exciting. All right, let's turn on the heat. Whoop. Foosh. Salad oil filling the wok to the brim caught fire, and flames reached up to the sky.
He totally did fill the wok with oil.
Here's the thing about oil.
You don't need that much.
You don't need that much. Right.
Unless you're deep frying.
Unless you're deep frying, but you're not deep frying in a wok, I want to say.
You probably could.
You probably could, but you shouldn't. However, you should dry a deep fried kitchen towel. Amazing. Maybe I could be an Iron Chef too. What if I'm really good at cooking with fire? Those words were spoken by delusion. I was saying something outrageously careless, but when the words came out, they sort of convinced me. Oh, yes, I'm an Iron Chef. Oh, hot, 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 hot. As the crazy pillar flame started to burn the ceiling, I finally realized the fabulous cooking before my eyes had culminated into an actually life-threatening disaster. Wait, what? Could I have been doing something insane? Like, wait, hold on. Am I doing something stupid? Keiichi, filling an entire wok to the brim with oil. Am I doing something stupid here, actually? What do you think? The other trick with the wok is most of the time you want to make sure you're constantly moving the stuff.
Yeah. And high heat.
High heat. Ah! What in the world are you doing? You must stop the flames this instant. Oh. Kerthwack, someone forcefully struck me in the back of the head. Is it Rena? No, these two. When I turned around to see what was going on, to my surprise, I saw Sadako and Rika-chan there. Sadako? Rika-chan, what are you doing here? I stood in wonder at the unexpected entrance. Sadako shoved me out of the way and turned off the gas. Then Rika-chan got her towel, soaked it in water, spread it out, and placed it over the pot. She continued to soak more towels and put a second on, then a third. Once a whole bunch were piled on, the fire finally stopped. All of it had happened in a few moments.
I'm really good at putting out oil fires for reasons that will remain unexplained.
Well, finally, I'm glad we have an adult here. Having avoided a huge fire by a hair's breadth, the three of us gasped for air. Wait, what are you doing in my house? You're trespassing on private property.
Yes, well, Keiichi-san, you've been caught red-handed in the act of arson. It's about to turn into a huge building fire, wasn't it?
In before Higurashi chapter, in which Keiichi does in fact just burn down his house and die in a fire on day one, and then everything is normal.
And then everything is normal and fine afterwards. That somehow he is still the linchpin.
It would be very, very sad if Keiichi was homeless after this.
You could just live in your apartment with your two, right? You've got a house you're not using. After pretending to be an Iron Chef, I finally began to take in the situation. Ugh, that was really about to set the house on fire, huh?
Is that not obvious? Just look at it. The ceiling is all sooty, is it not? Chimneys are the only things that should be sooty.
Sadako was seriously mad at me. Maybe they saved my life. According to what they said, I was so absorbed in my fiery cooking that I hadn't noticed when Sadako and Rika-chan rang the doorbell. They could tell someone was home, so they came in to check. Thank goodness they did.
If Sadako and I hadn't come, the fire engines would have been going wee-oo right now.
Keiichi-san, do you understand how serious this was?
At some point, I had to sit down on my knees as I listened obediently. Ugh, I'm sorry. You two saved my life.
We thought we'd come and see what a fabulous dinner you made, but as we thought, it's a fucking mess. At this rate, we won't even need to look at your bento.
Ugh, you're so mean. You Rika-chan came all this way just to see what I'd make for dinner?
Us being mean saved your house and your life. Is that not something to take to heart?
Ugh. Yes, I'm sorry, Sadako-san. At this point, having showed them such a disaster, I couldn't exactly make any more bluffs. Completely surrendered.
You tried really hard on the curry. Where'd the Keiichi-san from back then go? Jeez.
Ugh. I had all of our underclassmen to help me then, and just borrowed entire pots from other teams. I didn't really cook anything.
Keiichi-san, you cheated? Jeez, you might have been doing what our club usually does, but that was terrible.
Pouring salt into the other team's pot seemed far more terrible to me, but Sadako was in control right now, so I couldn't respond. I obediently hung my head to her.
By the way, Keiichi-san, this terrible pot here. It wasn't supposed to be miso soup, was it?
Sadako stared at the pot, totally full of miso with an awful expression. I really did get the amount wrong. Judging by the look on her face, whatever was in the pot couldn't be called miso anymore. Forget the miso soup, the rice should be cooked just fine. Rice cookies these days are pretty convenient. Should be just about done.
Meat, it's not cooked. See, the inside is still all watery.
What? I switched it on and a little light came on.
Keiichi-san, button you pushed was the timer button, alright? It's set for breakfast, so it won't turn on until tomorrow morning.
So then what? In the end, I don't even have a side dish or miso soup or even rice. You could still make the rice seem salvageable. I'm gonna make anything myself.
It serves you right. So, have you finally realized your place? Come, admit it. Say it, I, Keiichi Maebara, am all bark and a much crummier cook than Sadako Hojo-san.
I'm a terrible person and a crummier cook than Sadako. I beg your forgiveness. I fainted in agony. Rika-chan pat my head, satisfied at the sight, and Sadako laughed loudly in triumph. Ugh, I'm completely lost. In the end, I talked big but couldn't make a single dish adequately. This rate will go without dinner. And tomorrow morning, no breakfast and no bento for lunch either. I didn't know how many days it would be before my parents returned, but at this rate, without a doubt, I'll starve to death.
Meep.
Of course, I'll have no bento tomorrow either.
Meep.
And I'm sure to get the punishment game tomorrow.
Meep.
Why are you an alarm? Rika-chan kept on patting my head with a smile on her face that couldn't possibly get any bigger. Also, how come you say me but not Nipa? Is Nipa an anime-only thing?
I don't know.
Sadako, completely appalled at how unsightly I looked, heaved a heavy sigh.
All men are just so pathetic, aren't they?
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
Come on. Please move yourself out of the way.
As I sobbed like a girl, Sadako, displeased, brushed me aside and dumped the remains of the miso soup into the sink tidy, then began to rinse out the pot. So don't worry about it, Sadako. I could at least clean up after my own mess. I couldn't have Sadako clean up the cooking utensils I made a mess of, but when I tried to stop her, Rika-chan pulled on my clothes.
Keiichi, you can just be silent and watch.
She grinned as she said it. Be quiet and watch. What are you saying, Rika-chan?
She meant just what she said. Keiichi-san, I'll just be quiet and leave this to me.
Sadako turned around and declared, seeming bothered. To say that amateurs could keep their hands off. Her annoyed expression was a little scary. Leave what to you? Sadako didn't answer. Instead, she spun back around and began to rifle through the pots in the refrigerator. Anyway, don't mess with them too much. If you turn the place inside out, my mom might get mad at me later.
Would you just be quiet already? Men aren't supposed to enter the kitchen. Rika!
We are learning so much about Sadako today.
Aye, sir.
Sadako snapped her fingers, and Rika-chan got on her tiptoes, grabbed me by the back of my neck, and started dragging me away. Oh no! Leaving Sadako alone in the kitchen, Rika-chan dragged me back to the living room. Hey, stop, Rika-chan! Let me go already! If we leave it to Sadako, the kitchen will be a disaster!
Sadako came to see how she beat you today. It's her revenge.
Revenge? Come to think of it, her face looked kind of grim. Eventually, from the kitchen, there was a sound of faucet being twisted and a stove dial being turned. Began to hear nostalgic sounds that made me envision dinner time. The refrigerator opening and closing, ingredients being cut on the chopping board. What did that all mean? Was she cooking?
Keiichi made fun of her quite a lot. Sadako wanted to show you that she can cook proper meals too.
Ugh. Just listening to it like this. There haven't been any sounds of blood spilling or bursting or explosions. At this point, at least, she had proven she was more skillful cook than I. And the cooking showdown with Sadako Hojo versus Keiichi Maebara looked like victory had already been decided. I recalled Sadako's slightly annoyed expression from before. I was making fun of her too much today, wasn't I? Is she holding a grudge against me? We were just provoking each other with our usual back and forth, but I also think maybe I overdid it. At the very least, I shouldn't have made fun of Sadako, who could cook for herself when I'd never cooked other than for recreation before.
Sadako isn't holding very much of a grudge.
But she came all the way to my house and pushed her way in. She's gotta be mad. Quietly took a peek into the kitchen. She definitely looked different than the usual bird-brained Sadako. Her eyes were sharp and her movements were brisk, to the point where it was a little scary. Then she must have noticed me, because she turned around and shot me an annoyed glare. I cringed in fear and hastily pulled my head back out. Oh, she's mad. She She's totally mad. Oh, she take the revenge on me. Oh.
That's just Sadako being serious because she doesn't want to fail. She isn't angry or anything.
Oh yeah, she's just got like serious like I need to focus on a thing. So I've got serious face on. I get yeah, no, I completely get that. Yeah. It's like I'm doing something where like I have an idea and kind of know what I'm doing, but I also can't fuck around while I'm doing it.
Yep.
So I need you to not be here. How can you say she isn't angry? I've never seen her be like this frightening.
Keiichi-san! I can hear that you know.
Sorry! I jumped at her angry outburst and faced toward the kitchen. Felt exactly like a kid who'd done something bad and gotten called to the teacher's lounge.
Where do you keep the miso? Refrigerator's so big I don't see any of it anywhere.
I'm sorry, the miso is on the middle shelf in the fridge, the back left of the lower rack.
What is this? You need to close the miso package after you finish with it. It's getting the inside of the refrigerator dirty, isn't it?
I'm sorry! Before I could look for something to wipe it with, Sadako wiped it off with a wet dish towel.
I swear, men so bad at cleaning up after themselves. I shudder to think that you'll become an adult like this.
Ugh. I couldn't talk back to Sadako today. I'm, getting some impressions of what Sadako's life might have been like with her aunt and uncle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah. That's a lot of this isn't like I don't know what I think she might have go away. I think she might have been a little bit too young when she was still with her parents, but like thinking about like a year or two ago when she would have been living with her aunt and uncle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with Satoshi. I'm wondering if some of that experience has informed her outlook here on men and their place.
I wonder.
Is this the Sadako chapter? Are we getting a Sadako chapter?
There's only one way to find out.
I see.
The only way to begin is by beginning, as they say.
As they say. The only thing I could do was obediently lower my head and apologize. As Sadako nitpicked and I apologized, a good smell began to fill the kitchen.
This is how you prepare the miso for the soup, you dumbass. Scoop a little bit out with the ladle and break it up with chopsticks. It's important to add a little at a time, and keep tasting it. Dumping the entire thing into the pot is absolutely outrageous.
I'm sorry, I never paid attention in home ec class.
You're pathetic. I swear, men.
I cowered at her annoyed-sounding muttering. But looking at her like this, she seemed quite good at cooking. Just been overshadowed by Rena and Rika-chan's artistic abilities, Sadako's skills were clearly enough to get passing marks.
Hey, if you have the time to zone out like that, then you could go set the table. Rika and I will be eating too, so set 3 places. Not leaving you enough to make a bento out of this tomorrow, by the way. I just don't want you starving.
Right, they're making exactly enough just so they can eat his food tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, on it! I hastily took 3 people's worth of dishes and such from the cabinets and headed to the dining room. When I returned there, I could hear laughter from a variety show on the television. Rika-chan was sprawled out on the couch watching television and relaxing. When she noticed me putting the dishes out on the table, she came scampering up.
Dinner time is soon. Dinner at Keiichi's house. Nipa.
She said the line! She said the line!
She said the Lord.
Rika-chan, you're in a good mood. That's a pretty big difference from Sadako.
Sadako isn't in a bad mood at all. She's enjoying herself more than she has in a long time.
Enjoying herself, huh? Seriously?
She's like how she was when her Nini was with her.
Oh, no.
It really has been a long time since I've seen Sadako look like she's having so much fun.
Yep. Nini? What the heck is a Nini? Is that a sound cats make?
Nini means brother.
Oh, you read my face again.
Sadako's older brother.
Sadako's older brother.
He's named Satoshi. Haven't you heard his name before?
Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. At least he didn't go to our school, so... Haven't you heard... You don't remember? About baseball bats? Satoshi, huh? Sadako's older brother. That's the first time I've heard of him. She had a brother, huh? I didn't know that.
She does have one.
Saying that, Rika-chan grinned even more brightly and went
Nipa.
again.
When
When
Sadako was with Satoshi, she always looked like she was having fun, just like this. It really has been a long time since I've seen Sadako enjoying herself this much.
Like, how long would you say? Like, a little bit less than a full year?
That's an oddly specific number.
Is it right, though?
We'll see.
However I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood. But her good friend Rika-chan was saying that it was actually the opposite. Like, she's just got focus face. There's a difference between, like, focus and angry. Is she really enjoying herself?
She must be remembering the time she spent with her Nini. It's nostalgic.
Nostalgic, huh? Oh, then does he live apart from Sadako? Maybe her older brother Satoshi is actually a lot older than her. He must have gone off on his own and was living by himself far away. Sadako really seems like she got along well with this Satoshi person.
She did. The two of them got along very well.
She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the width of how well they got along. According to Rika-chan, Sadako supported her docile, slightly unreliable older brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to the current situation. We had me, unreliable, unable to cook even a single dish properly, and Sadako, who redid it while scolding me. Could Sadako have been getting a glimpse of her brother who now lived far away through me?
Sadako...
Didn't we say this back in, like, chapter 1? Like, this has been obvious for a while, right? This isn't a revelation. This is just making it clear for the first time in the text.
Yeah.
Right? Because from chapter 1, it's clear that she's been using Keiichi as a surrogate older brother.
Needs someone with appropriate cringe fail personality and swagless looks to stand in for her older brother to nag and make do things.
Yep. So she would always nitpick whatever Satoshi did, but she firmly supported him and they got along well.
Today, she was the one. She suggested we should go to Keiichi's house.
She said there's no way the unreliable Keiichi-san could possibly make dinner. We need to go make it for him. Then she didn't come here to get revenge or get even or anything like that?
She couldn't leave you alone. Even now, Sadako is a proper little sister.
Huh. I was an only child. I didn't know how it felt to have siblings. Of course, I never had a little sister like Sadako. But I felt that in this moment I was an older brother, obediently and helplessly being looked after by her, without any teasing or messing around. I'm gonna give thanks for her trouble. That's what I honestly thought.
Keiichi-san, do you know where on earth the ladle is?
Oh, sorry. The ladle should be in the drawer to your right. I ran into the kitchen, got the ladle out of the drawer, and offered it to Sadako.
That's all done. Put the bowls and things out.
Yeah, I did. Everything's A-okay.
Then let us have our meal. Rika, it's time for dinner.
Me.
I heard Rika-chan's effervescent voice coming from the dining room. Sadako turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted up the pot of miso soup.
Could you bring the rice cooker, Keiichi-san? Be careful not to flip it over, all right?
Oh, right, I'll be careful. I could carry rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying like that, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts today. Rice with steam billowing from it and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was a truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all or extravagant. It was a daily meal, the sort of house life would make. What's funnier, if they made exactly enough to leave none for the bento, or if they take this to use as their bento tomorrow?
Ha 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 ha.
The sort of housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness.
Then let us eat.
Thank you for the food.
At Sadako's command, Rika-chan and I both thanked her in a loud voice. I made light of you, Sadako. You've beaten me soundly.
Oh, do you have a better opinion of me now? This may not be as good as Rika or Rena-san, but I could cook far better than the helpless Keiichi-san.
Yeah, I know better now. After I honestly admitted my defeat, Sadako's expression finally softened, and she laughed with her normally loud and cheerful voice. Oh, the rice is cooked really well. Though she used the rice cooker, it tasted a little different from the rice my mom made. Maybe she used a different amount of water for it. Even so, I could feel Sadako's personality from the rice, which made it taste better than usual. The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was still delicious. The side dishes, while not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was also appetizing, and I couldn't stop eating. Side dishes are really well done, too. Sadako, you're not a bad cook at all, you know? I gave my honest impression without a hint of sarcasm. Sadako seemed to have been expecting some, because when I praised her so honestly, she got flustered instead.
Your praise honors me, but it is nothing so grand. The side dishes are just things I bought at the store and heated up. This and this, all I did was open the can. Can only really make rice and miso soup myself, you know.
Sadako said, embarrassed, her face a bit flushed. There's none of her normal verbal abuse or sarcasm in there either. Well,
I can't make anything except rice and miso soup, but when you get ready-made side dishes and put them on the table too, it turns into something fairly splendid.
my mom uses ready-made dishes and canned goods too. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. This is a fantastic dinner. Thank you. I gave her honest praise. I've never met Sadako's brother, but Satoshi would probably praise her in the same way.
Well, I suppose it's enough now that you've come to realize that I can hold my own in the kitchen. Would you like seconds? There's plenty of miso soup still left.
Huh? That bread just awkwardly changed the subject? When I realized my response had been on the mark, it made me a little happy.
When we eat rice like this, it's fun, like we're eating with Satoshi.
Why would you just bring that up out of the middle, Rika? We've heard conflicting opinions about what's up with Satoshi.
Yeah.
Some say he's dead, some say he just ran away. So, he was sighted on a train leaving town.
Transferred out.
This is not a way to bring up something casually to your friend whose brother is been dead for less than a year.
Yeah, seems like a pretty awkward way to bring it up, no matter which of those explanations is the real one, right? Like,
well, I mean, if it's like, oh, he went off to college to study, that's one thing, right?
Yeah, but that's not one of the things that anyone's brought up so far.
I'm saying there's a world in which that could make sense.
Yeah.
Just none of the worlds we know of.
Yeah.
Rika-chan mentioned Sadako's older brother's name again. Sadako's chopped 6 paws and looked up at the ceiling. Oh, smiling gremlin.
How nostalgic. Wonder what he could be doing right now.
She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved far away. Oh, it looked, I got the impression she hadn't seen Satoshi quite some time. Sadako realized I was giving her a blank stare.
I do apologize. Satoshi is my Nini. No, my older brother.
Oh, okay. I see. Nini must have been a nickname only Sadako used for him. It's funny to see her hastily deny it.
I was rather surprised a person with such few living skills had the ability to run away. Well, I'm sure he'll pack up shop at some point and return out of the blue.
Oh, so he ran away, huh? There was another story to what Sadako had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about it in such an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I not approach the subject at all? I hastily took a look at Sadako's face after thinking that, but there was no trace of the gloomy expression I've been worrying about.
Well, he's not old enough to be dreaming of living on his own yet, so Nini won't be able to do it for long anyway. He's got no endurance.
Satoshi may not look like it, but he's a very persevering person. He's a lot more persevering than you think.
Miko, you always take Nini aside right away, you know. You're a little too nice to him.
I guess this also explains Sadako's rather upbeat disposition given everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I like her ability to be like happy isn't just like her being a power gremlin and like smiling through it all. She does seem to believe, at least on some level, that her brother is still out there. Whether or not there's a difference between what she says and what she's got on the upper layer versus what she has as a deep-seated belief is a different story. But right, at least on some level, she can convince herself she believes this. I wonder if that's going to be an important part of this going forward, like her steadfast belief that her brother is still alive versus the seeming reality and that other people have that he is dead. I wonder if we'll get any evidence of it.
I wonder.
Because they seem very open to talk about it now, but Rena didn't want to talk about Satoshi at all.
Yeah, sure seems like different people have pretty different reactions to this topic, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder why that could be.
I just had a lot of thoughts I needed to get out there. Is this? I think this is Rika.
I don't...
Sadako is too harsh on.
Oh, Sadako is just too harsh on Nini. You should treat him more kindly when he comes back.
Sadako and Rika-chan's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other, but I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic too, even though he had run away from them. It's like they were going to see him again next week. Sadako and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi even now, and waited for him believing he would surely return. I've never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi person was a real good guy. I thought Sadako would be deeply hurt by her brother running away, but she had already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigor, as if to say that her brother could come back at any time he liked. I thought Sadako didn't think through anything and just kind of frolicked and played practical jokes every day, and that was it. But she was really... yeah.
Huh? What's up? Are you petting my head?
I roughly rubbed a hand through Sadako's hair. I misunderstood you, Sadako. I didn't know you were this level-headed. Sadako seemed to think I was making fun of her and tried to bat away my hand. But then she saw that there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face and obediently granted me her head.
Fine. Don't tell anyone, though.
Yep, Sadako's level-headed. She sure is.
I've been level-headed from the start. Just playing pranks on you because you always do it to me.
There was her usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today. You're right. You were just doing it to go along with me, but you really were so level-headed. Good for you.
Is that actually a compliment? It seems like you're making fun of me.
I'm really not trying to make fun of you at all. This is me, Keiichi Maebara, being sincere. Please understand this for the rarity that it is. I am seriously complimenting you. Because if I was making fun of you, Rika-chan would be petting your head too. True.
That's right, isn't it? It's bizarrely convenient. Rika-chan makes fun of people, she usually pets their head.
Meep, these canned sardines are delicious.
Rika-chan went,
Nipa.
and her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Sadako and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself is so dull and simple that I never even thought people could be laughing like this around it. And then, I finally came to realize something really obvious. Dinner is better if you're laughing while you're eating, huh?
You should be careful with that because sometimes the rice comes out of your nose, so you should
What?
alternate the laughing and the eating portions.
What? Hold on, what did you think I was doing? What? I'm concerned now, Rika.
Laughing while eating, it's a choking hazard. Of course it is. Laughing makes it taste better.
And it also makes you choke. How rude. The food is good because I'm a good cook, obviously.
This harmonious moment, this happy circle, was completely different than spending time with family, but still somehow nostalgic. Sadako, do you still want to see Nini?
I didn't say Nini. Call him my brother, please.
Hey, wait, you've been saying Nini this, Nini that this whole time. Ugh, whatever. I grinned wryly and decided to just call him brother like she told me to. Sadako, do you want to see your brother? Rika-chan stopped eating, then looked back and forth between my face and Sadako's. Sadako was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words. Just from that, Sadako conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he would come home right now, huh? But she wasn't that weak. Satoshi should just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she'd let him have the scolding of a lifetime, and then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his futon for him.
Well, of course I want to see him again. It's been almost a year.
That long already, huh? Why are you giving me a finger gun like I called something important? It's just the timeline.
Yeah, it is.
There's nothing.
It is just the timeline.
There was nothing there that was okay. Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away. Well, let's hope he's not one of the people that's down the well, huh?
Well,
We don't know who's in that well.
We don't for a lot of them. We knew the recent ones, but not some of the ones that have been there for longer. And that is on the back of my head. I don't want to just use it as a catch-all explanation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I like if we're invoking the well, then we have to implicate someone in the Sonozaki circle.
Yep.
But still,
well, he can do what he wants. I like my load if he came back with more muscles and knowing how to do housework, of course.
see, you said Nini again.
You said it.
What? No, I did not. I would never call Nini.
Things rapidly turned to the usual lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school, but nothing changed about Sadako's feelings toward her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Sadashi, your sister's trying hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest and come back soon, got it? Somewhere across the town, Rena.
Achoo!
Sadoko, it's time to clean up or else we'll get sleepy.
It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Mika-chan let out a big yawn and then spoke. Sadako and I both looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. Perhaps we both realized it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything.
Oh, this will not do. I still haven't washed the dishes yet.
Oh, don't worry about it. I can do that much at least. You made a great dinner, so I can't let you do the dishes too.
You sure you'll be all right? And people who are not used to it try and wash them. The soap could make the dishes slip out of their hands, you know.
Jeez, she's turned into a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming and awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile.
Keiichi can at least wash dishes. If you break one and hurt yourself, I'll give you pettings at school tomorrow.
Oh no! Sleepy Rika! Rika-chan yawned again, so wide you could see her molars.
Is he really all right? Keiichi-san is pretty unreliable despite how he looks.
Oh, give me a break. Looks like Keiichi's approval ratings have plummeted in Sadako's mind. Don't worry, I'll clean those dishes up, no problem. So don't worry about it. Go home. Actually, this hour I can't let you two go home by yourselves. I'll take you there. Let me find the key for my bike, all right?
Once you've taken us home, Keiichi-san will be the one going home by himself. You'll be in big trouble if you get lost on the roads at night and end up in Takatsudo. There are no houses or lights there at all. It's like Cleveland. I assume.
I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? Yep. She really is being critical, but yeah, this feeling I have, it's not bad. So I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw Sadako and Rika-chan to the gate. Thanks a lot for today, you two. Thanks to you, I got a good cultural dinner.
If Sadoko hadn't come, Keiichi would be growling and yowling right now.
Actually, more likely I would be dead.
That's true.
Truly. It's really good that we came.
They really saved me. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude.
Oh yes, I put the rice inside dishes into a container, so use that for your bento tomorrow, alright? For breakfast you can eat some bread and jam.
They really... Not even pulling the dick move on him. I mean, she knows she's gonna win, but still, like, aw, that's...
Strawberry jam and peanut butter were in your refrigerator, so the middle shelf to the right. Cocoa powder, too, was in the upper right door of the cupboard.
I know all that. You don't gotta go into detail. Not to say that, but decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realized that Sadako, who had appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika-chan had said. I told you, focus mode. And though she nagged a lot, she was very kind.
Sato has acquired another individual to take care of.
That's Rika first.
Then good night.
Make sure to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to do it at least 5 minutes.
I got it, Sadako. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast for tomorrow. 5 minutes? I spend a long-ass time brushing my teeth, but I don't think I spend 5 minutes.
Yeah, that feels long.
Huh, well, whatever. I'll be sure not to forget the bento.
You need to wake up earlier than usual, or you won't be able to get your breakfast or bento ready. You got it? If you like, I can give you a call a little earlier to wake you up instead of using your alarm clock.
You don't have to go that far. I'll set my alarm clock to wake me up a little early. Thank you for being so concerned about me, though. Sadako looked like she had more fault finding to do, but she stopped and, leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Rika-chan went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back. What's wrong, Rika-chan? Did you forget something?
Keiichi, you get 100 points for today. Clap, clap, clap.
Rika-chan suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was she on about? I didn't do anything worthy of praise, did I? I nearly burned down the house after all.
Sadako probably felt like her Nini had come home. I think she was having a lot of fun.
Huh. All right, then.
Once in a while, I want you to go along with Sadako's scolding in the future.
You telling me to be like an older brother so she can scold instead of Satoshi? Oh. Rika-chan didn't say anything, but she just smiled and went all,
Nipa.
Man, we finally get it, and they're just overdoing it now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've got time to make up for it. Did they use the CG in Umineko as well?
Did they?
I feel like they did. I feel like I've seen this moon CG in Umineko.
Specific moon.
Then again, every view of the moon from Earth looks exactly the same. Because we're tidally locked. The Satoshi person, huh? He has such a great little sister, so what was he unhappy about? If I were him, I would never have run away from home.
Satoshi had his own circumstances, I'm sure.
I didn't know what he was unhappy with, but whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Sadako. Well, I hope he comes back soon. I probably can't play the role of her actual Nini forever, you know.
It's okay. You were just like Satoshi today. Please do it again sometime.
And that's what would make Sadako happy, then. I'd take on this easy role whenever I needed to.
Rika!
Sadako stopped her bike under a distant exterior light and called out to her friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited.
Okay, I have to go. Good night.
Yeah, good night.
I can't replace Satoshi, but Keiichi could do it. That's one less piece of baggage I need to shoulder.
Leaving me with that. Again, the adult. The adult here, Rika, sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Sadako, and the two of them disappeared in the blink of an eye. Satoshi, seriously, come back soon, you got it? Come home really late. I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Sadako. Even if I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles, I stood there for a while, seeing them off. Oh yeah, this is sweet so far.
It is.
So, it does seem like we're getting Sadako and Satoshi chapter.
It does. So, what could be up with Satoshi? What do you think this implies? Oh, there's more stuff. There's more
let's
tips.
let's
we
do
should
that.
Tips.
Elementary trap course. Let's do that. We'll do that on this sode here. You're on fire. Attempted cooking is the name of that one. Be all tips. I know one thing for sure. Sadako could fend off an entire army division by holding up in this mountain.
I know all about it. Sadako was appointed to the special forces of that one country, where she served as an instructor training on traps.
Wait, what the hell is this? Stop saying weird things. Someone help me! How did it come to this? What traps did we fall for, and how did we fall for them? Mion was caught in a profusely thin pitfall she couldn't escape from, and only her head was poking above the ground. Rena's head was completely covered by a tin bucket. She was squirming around in a vain attempt to remove it. Either of these really were funny, but that's where it ended. At least they had their feet on the ground.
Kei-chan, what about you? Think you can get out of that? Hurry up and get out so you can save this old man.
You're the one who should be breaking out and saving me, Mion. What do you expect me to do in this freaking bamboo mat? I was wrapped up in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters above the ground. What the hell, Sadako? This isn't just trap making. This is like guerrilla warfare bullshit. What the hell? What was this trap and how did I fall into it? Huh? It was Sadako! This all started when they suggested I was unfamiliar with nature, having grown up in the city, and proposed a little exploration on the mountain.
But Rena doesn't really know how it is back there either. Rena might get lost.
Really? You had a really easy time chasing Keiichi in Chapter 1. Maybe it was a different part. Isn't that also between there in the damn construction site?
Maybe. I don't recall. The mountain out back, huh? I played there a lot when I was little, but I haven't gone there for years.
Isn't that also on the Sonozaki property?
Probably.
I forget exactly how they described it in Chapter 2, but most of the properties seem to be on their mountain.
If you get lost out there, things can get pretty dangerous.
You can leave the mountain to us. The whole thing is our playground. Isn't that right, Rika?
Meep.
Well, I see. How reassuring. We'll defer to you two this time and have you be our tour guides.
Wait, Keiichi-kun. The summer vacation guidebook says not to play on the mountain because you'll get lost.
Oh, what could that possibly mean?
It isn't summer vacation yet, so it's all right. We know the path, so there's no need to worry.
Interesting. But there's also a random payphone up there?
The mountain has always been our playground, our backyard. We know all the secret paths and shortcuts.
Do you now? Yes, both Sadako and Rika-chan knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had a fill of fresh air, gorgeous views, and Mother Nature, the likes of which you could never see in the village. But things got strange partway through.
Oh, yes, everyone, I have something to say. From here on, you must follow exactly where I go.
Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden?
It would be safer to do as Sadako says. Oh my. Hey, Michan, look at this. What is it? Should I pull it? Should I?
Suddenly, squeak, crash! When Rena pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came raining down with a clatter right next to where Rena was standing.
What is this? What? Ah! That brings back memories. Sadako made this trap in the second semester of second grade.
And it's still functional? Several years later? Wow. Wait,
Why
or
do you
does she do
think-
maintenance?
Yeah, why do you think we know these trails so well?
That was a close one. The tips of the spears are covered in dog poop, so if one of them hurts you, the wound will start to fester.
When did this turn into some guerrilla battlefield? According to Sadako and Rika-chan, earlier in elementary school, Sadako had been on a trap-making craze and set them up along every inch of this mountain. Did she?
Does Sadako have a body count already? Missing hikers.
That was after her mom and dad died, right?
Yeah.
So, what was motivating her?
Keiichi-kun, maybe they didn't tell us not to go on the mountain because we'd get lost, but because it was dangerous.
Mion and I both nodded wholeheartedly at Rena's hypothesis.
Come now, we're hurrying on ahead. If we do not return soon, it will get dark. Gets dark and may even become dangerous for me.
But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain. It was an average healthy Japanese boy like me being forced to deal with life-threatening booby traps. I said booby. And then, the very moment Sadako and Rika-chan just got out of sight, weren't all three of us caught in nice little traps together. Someone get me out! I have to go to the bathroom!
Never mind that. Somebody get the bucket off me. I can't see in front of me. Ah.
Probably Mion.
Wait, Rena, don't struggle around so much. I can see your panties. Ah, you saw. Keiichi-kun, you saw.
What? No, I didn't. I smash, crash, bash, crash, bash. Of course you can see them. You ain't in a bucket, but you could definitely... Oh! Bleh. Bucket Rena was using me as a sandbag, and Mion was crying.
You can't get out of the pitfall. How sad.
Jeez, didn't I already tell you all? You weren't supposed to leave my side.
I finally had an epiphany. Sadako had been so bent on taking everyone out to the mountain because she wanted to brag about all the traps she'd set up here over the years.
Also, don't fuck with me. I could kill a man.
Could have just stopped at showing them to us. Jeez! Need to experience how it felt firsthand. Rika-chan pets our three heads in sequence in an incredibly satisfied mood.
All right.
Well, that was
first
fun.
tips.
First tips.
So what do you think might be up with Sadako's family and living situation? Kind of weird, right? She's living with Rika. Her brothers run off somewhere.
Or might
she
be
doesn't
dead.
seem too concerned about it.
It seems like she thinks this is for the better. I don't think. I think something would make her unhappy still living with her uncle. I think maybe her uncle had been abusive. And without Satoshi there,
No insulation.
Huh? Yeah, as insulation. Living with Rika is just better for her. And her uncle, if that's the case, her uncle probably... This probably is all off the books. It's probably not legally the case, but, like, the people in Hinamizawa aren't going to let him near her, so, you know.
And that explained the thing I asked during our recently aired questions episode, where I was like, or not asked, but brought up, like, what's Child Protective Services? Why aren't they involved when there's two kids living on their own in the
Probably
woods?
because this is Sonozaki turf. Yeah, because, like, I didn't want to speculate too heavily about what was up with her uncle, but, like, if this is how she feels, I've got to think that something instilled those feelings in her, right?
That's fair.
And I have to imagine be her uncle and not her parents. Because she would have been, like, very young. That was, like, when her parents died, that was, like, 4 years ago? Yeah. Like,
Something like that.
Anyway. Oh, we're back.
We're back.
Hinamizawa. We're having a great time. I hope you're having a good time. Are you having a good time?
I am.
I can't hear you. Don't answer that question out loud. You will sound silly.
Oh no, you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
I've been talking this whole time.
Oh shit, I had you on mute this entire... You know what? We'll just have to re-record the entire thing. Right. Hey everyone, welcome. We're starting chapter 3 of Higurashi today.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.